New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. When we wrote that song, we wanted it to be a song, not a jingle. You know, we wanted it to be something that could play on radio and could get the players and the community and the city excited. But what happened was, in the 90s, there was a big shift in the NBA. For the first time ever, there were dancers, there was DJs and music, there were video screens, and the team started realizing that the games are 48 minutes, but fans are there for 3 hours. And we have to entertain those fans during timeouts and breaks. So you started seeing all this Hollywood getting introduced into the arenas. So I was like, well, you know, music's a component. I love sports, I love music. You know, let's write a theme song for the Knicks that they could play at timeouts. I was able to get a meeting with Ernie Grunfeld, who was the GM at the time at the Knicks. I said, you know, I think this would be something that would be great during timeouts. He said, you know, well, let me hear it. I put it in, and he said, let's go.
And now, please welcome the 1994 Eastern Conference champion, your New York Knicks!
Ernie was an old school guy, so
oh, yeah.
it also speaks to how catchy the song was for him to see it and hear it and feel it. And then so from there, what's next?
So I presented a demo to the Knicks, to Ernie and the team, and they saw the vision and what it could be, and we talked about, you know, doing a video. And then, but the chorus wasn't Go New York Go. It was just a repetitive, we are the New York Knicks. And they said, well, go back and put some bells and whistles on it. So we went back and created what became Go New York Go. But I sold them the song. I sold it outright for $4,000.
Wow.
It cost me $4,800 to do the song. By the time I paid the producer and the singer and the engineer and the studio, I lost $800 on it. But I would have paid them 10 grand to do it. Because now, all of a sudden, for me personally, I had a story. And as an entrepreneur, people buy into stories and momentum more than even products. Like, you know, and now I had a story. I could call the Bulls and be like, I did the Knicks song, or any of the teams, and I did. So it jump-started a career for me in a category that didn't exist, which was sports music.
You really kind of transform the future of professional sports because, and this is not hyperbole, this is really what happened. Because if you go watch an NBA game today and go back to how it was prior to that song, it is like night and day. Now you go to the game as much to be entertained by the entertainment as you do by the game itself, and you are at the forefront of that. And how much do people bring that up to you and talk to you about that?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember other teams calling me up because they would come into the Garden and they'd be like, what is this? Why don't we have a song with 20,000 people waving a towel? You know, who did that? But yeah, I mean, it changed the complexion of the league. I mean, I can't take credit for that. There was a shift going on, but clearly music and the NBA merged at that moment.
Go New York, go New York, go! I'm a Knicks fan, I gotta stay true. Yes, I do. Are you down with the orange and the blue? I'm a Knicks fan, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm down with the orange and the blue.
Early 90s was kind of the beginning of where hip-hop became, in a lot of ways, bigger than rock and roll. It became the preeminent music, and this, in a lot of ways, was kind of like a hip-hop song, if you will.
Well, I got lucky. You know, nothing unites a community or people like sports and music. And we had both. We tied in the sports and the music. So it was that common denominator that attracted Brooklyn, Bronx, Upper West Side, everybody, any race, any economic, like, it was the Knicks and music, and we hit that nerve. So, and the Knicks we had a little help. You guys, you know, were hot, and we got hot. So it was a perfect storm.
The steal by Anthony. Anthony, yes, and it comes.
Anything you create, you know, it never leaves you. So it's still emotional for me, and it still makes me feel good. I took my kids to the playoff game last year so they could hear it in New York, Go New York, Go for the first time, and it was a great moment for me.
Knicks crowd loving every bit of this. Old MSG back in effect.
No doubt.